Most people don't realize they're behind on retirement until it's almost too late. Welcome back to The Money Architect. If you've been following along, you've probably gotten control of your day-to-day money. Your bills are handled. You're not scrambling between paychecks anymore, and that feels good. But here's the problem. Short-term control can hide long-term risk. You can feel stable today and still be completely unprepared for the future, and that's exactly where most people are right now. There's data showing that a majority of people believe they could work their entire career and still not have enough saved. And at the same time, most people are just guessing what they actually need. That's not a strategy, that's hope. You don't have a retirement problem, you have a clarity problem. Let's fix that. You finally mastered your monthly budget, but your future self is still broke. Here is why guessing your retirement number is setting you up for failure. Most people hear a number like $500,000 and think, that sounds like a lot, and today it is. But retirement isn't about today. It's about sustaining your life for decades without a paycheck. Here's the reality. If you retire with $500,000 and follow a standard withdrawal strategy, about 4 to 5% per year, you're pulling out roughly $20,000 to $25,000 annually. That's not a lifestyle, that's survival. And for most people, that doesn't even cover basic expenses. So, where does this disconnect come from? It comes from something simple. We think in lump sums, but we live in monthly expenses. That's the gap. The general rule is this. You need about 80% of your pre-retirement income each year to maintain your lifestyle, not 80% one time, every single year. So, if you're used to living on $80,000 a year, you need around $64,000 annually in retirement income. Now compare that to $20,000 from a $500,000 savings. That's where people get blindsided. If you are 40 years old and you don't have at least 3 times your salary saved, you are officially behind on retirement. But don't panic just yet, because being behind doesn't mean you're done. It just means you need a plan. Let's get specific. Stop guessing, start measuring. There are simple benchmarks that give you a clear picture of where you stand. By age 30, you should have about 1 times your income saved. By 40, 3 times. By 50, 6 times. By 60, 8 times. And by retirement, around 10 times your final income. These aren't perfect, they're not personalized, but they're directionally accurate, and that's what most people are missing. A target. Because once you know where you are, you can adjust. Without that, you're just drifting. Most people don't fail retirement because of bad investments. They fail because they never measured where they stood. Now, let's talk about something people don't want to hear. Time matters more than anything else. And once you lose it, you don't get it back. Let's walk through a simple example. Say you earn around $74,000 a year. You save 15% consistently, and you earn a reasonable return over time. If you start at 25, you're looking at around $1.7 million by retirement. Start at 35, that drops to about $884,000. Start at 45, you're down to roughly $400,000. Same income, same effort, same strategy. The only difference is time. Waiting 10 years doesn't just slow you down, it cuts your outcome in half. This is why people feel like they're working hard but not getting ahead. Because the math changed, and they didn't adjust. Retiring earlier isn't freedom if your money can't keep up. And this is where retirement age becomes a major lever. Let me show you what that looks like in real life. Picture 3 people, same income, similar lifestyle, different decisions. Amy plans to retire at 67. She follows the standard path. Her target is about 10 times her income. Max realizes he's behind, so instead of forcing it, he adjusts. He pushes retirement to 70. That gives his money more time to grow, his retirement window is shorter, and his Social Security is higher. Now, his target drops to around 8 times his income. Then there's John. John wants out early. He's aiming for 65. But here's the trade-off. His money has to last longer. His Social Security is lower. So, his target jumps to around 12 times his income. Same starting point, completely different outcomes. Your retirement age is not just a date, it's a financial multiplier. Most people ignore that. Now, let's bring this down to reality. What do you actually do if you're behind? Because chances are, you are. And that's okay as long as you act. You're not behind because you're irresponsible. You're behind because no one showed you the math. If you're under 40, your job is simple. Increase your savings rate. Aim for 10 to 15% consistently. Focus on growth, and then stay out of your own way, because time is still working for you. If you're over 40, it's a different strategy. Now you need a combination approach. You need to save more. Max out your 401k if you can. Use IRAs. Take advantage of tax-advantaged accounts. And if you're over 50, you get catch-up contributions. That's extra room to accelerate. You also need to reduce your expenses. Not forever, not dramatically, but enough to free up cash and lower the income you'll need later. This is where people miss a big opportunity. Lower expenses today don't just help you save more, they reduce your retirement target. That's a double win. And then there's the one lever most people avoid: delaying retirement. Working just a few extra years can completely change your outcome. More savings, more growth, less time withdrawing. It's not always what people want to hear, but it's one of the most powerful moves you can make. You don't need a perfect plan, you need a realistic one. Let's bring this all together. You can't guess your way into a secure retirement. You can't rely on income alone, and you definitely can't ignore the math. But here's the good news: you're not stuck. You can adjust your savings rate. You can shift your lifestyle expectations. You can change your timeline. Every one of those decisions moves you closer. The key is awareness, because once you see where you really stand, you can do something about it. And that's the difference between drifting and building. Most people wait too long to take retirement seriously. You're not going to be one of them. Now that you know exactly how much you should be aiming for, the next question becomes obvious. Where do you actually put your money so it grows? Because saving alone isn't enough. You need the right structure behind it. So, in the next video, we're breaking that down step by step. How to invest when you're starting from zero. I'll see you there.